finish.
Illinois' Will Riley has been named the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year. Riley averaged more than 12 points, nearly 4 rebounds per game for the Illini, and just about 25 minutes on the floor per game this season. He's been extremely consistent late in the year, scoring in double figures in 10 of his last 11, including a 22-point outing to close out the regular season in Friday's win over Purdue. And from a Big Ten newcomer to the man who is the face of the league, Tom Izzo has been named Big Ten Coach of the Year for the 4th time, but first since 2012, after a season during which Izzo passed Bob Knight to become the winningest coach in Big Ten Conference history. This year's regular season title is the 11th outright or shared championship for the Spartans under Izzo and marks the 13th consecutive non-COVID season in which MSU has won at least 20 games. And we are thrilled now to welcome in the Coach of the Year, Tom Izzo, for our big interview. Tom, always great to catch up. First and foremost, congrats on the award and to your team on what's been an amazing season so far.
Well, I really appreciate it. I mean, that award came a few times early in my career, and it's been a long time. And yet, I think my team deserved this award. You hear every coach give coach speak, and the team did, your assistants did. If there's ever a year when that is true, this is true. We've had an incredible year, but we've done a lot of things together, and it's truly the group effort that does this. And there's nothing better than to tell your team, if we have success, individuals have success. Well, we've had success, and I get to be the recipient of some of that, and I'm grateful to all the coaches and media and everybody who voted.
Yeah, Tom, you mentioned that it's been a while since you've won it. Your last one, the third, coming back in 2012. Does it become more meaningful when awards like this happen a little bit later on and deeper into your career?
Hell yeah. You kind of know that everybody knows you get certain ages that you're on the back nine, and if you can survive in these jobs anymore. But I think it's more meaningful too that people start thinking maybe it's the game has passed you by, and it's good to know that the game hasn't passed me by until I quit working, and that's the way I look at it.
And you got to work against some really good coaches. I mean, this league was stacked in terms of coaching before the 4 new teams arrived. And then you get guys like Mick Cronin, who just won his 500th game, Dana Altman, who seemingly has won about 10,000 games. How do you describe the quality of coaching in this league, Tom?
The SEC deserves the credit they've gotten this year in a lot of ways, but I say this has been a coach's league since I got in, with Bob Knight and Gene Cady and Clem Haskins and Lou Henson, Tom Davis. You think about that group, and it just constantly gotten better and better and better. I think of some of the wars with Bo Ryan and John Beeline and Bruce Weber, and there were so many big games, and I marvel at the coaches in this league. That's why it's so meaningful to me to be this, even though I voted for a couple other people. I thought there were some guys, sometimes it's not the guy who wins it. I look at what Greg Gard did. I really look at what Chris Collins did, with his team. I mean, those things are, sometimes we get Coach of the Year awards because our team wins, but there's more to it than that. Sometimes you do your best job when your team doesn't win as many games.
And the head coach gets the award, but this is really, truly a staff award, though the Big Ten does also hand out an Assistant Coach of the Year award. And Doug Wojcik, who sits next to you on the bench, is the Howard Moore Assistant Coach of the Year. What does Doug mean to you, to this staff, to this program?
Well, first, let me say what Howard means. Getting an award named after Howard is incredible. And I know Doug, being a military guy, a Naval Academy guy, is very appreciative of that. But he's meant the world to me. He's really done an unbelievable job. He's been a head coach. And so there's a lot of staff meetings. He'd always say, man, you don't know what he's going through until you become a head coach. And I think there's truth to that. So my staff has done an incredible job. But Doug has been, my associate head coach and the guy that really has helped in a lot of ways this year, and he's kind of the defensive coordinator, and our defense has been phenomenal. So I'm really happy, proud of him, but I'm really proud that he gets an award named after Howard too, because that's we all know what he's gone through, and we all know how special of a guy he is.
That's really well said, Tom. Your team becomes the first to win the league outright without a player on the first or second all-conference team since Purdue did it, and that was in your first year as a head coach in this league. How do you explain success in a group without big-time awards from any individuals?
Well, as you know, as the season went on, we had some guys, Jace Richardson is really coming on. I think, Jaden Akins has come on here down the stretch, Jeremy Fears and Trey Holloman and Cohen Carr. So we've had a lot of guys. It's just that we play a lot of guys, and people are earning their right, but I don't look at that as a negative. I really don't. I look at it as there's some very deserving guys. Each one of us coaches know that our guy deserves what they got. You don't win the league by 3 games in this league with the competition the way it is, unless you got very good players worthy of all kinds of awards. But I do appreciate that in this league too, we have some great players, and I've got some of them, and maybe not on the first team right now, but they will be there in the future.
I think that's a safe bet. Tom, I want to go back to last May. You said to me at the Big Ten meetings in Terranea that you were, quote, maybe just too stubborn to change. So after a year like that, does that mean that stubborn's not all bad, or did you actually soften up a little bit?
No, I think I did say change, but I think I also said too stubborn to quit, because we all know that everybody's been through a lot, and a lot of people have hung it up, but that's what made this team so special. I mean, they revived me. I don't think I've changed a lot. I think I've adapted. I don't think you should ever change your principles, but I do think you have to adapt to the times, I know a lot of different music now. I know a lot of different hairstyles over the 30 years, a lot of different pants and skirts, how they were worn. But the general part of it is still the same. You got to defend, rebound, and run. You got to take care of the ball. And really, you got to be demanding. Because if you're trying to win championships, as they say, if it was easy, everybody could do it. So there's got to be some way of separating yourself. And I think I've learned to do that. But I've even spent more time with my guys. We went to Europe. We went to the UP. We went to baseball, basketball, football games. We did things together on such a basis that they've re-energized me. So my staff has been great, but my team has been special, and I appreciate those guys for what they've done for me.
And Tom, one of those principles that you've stuck by throughout your entire career is the importance of developing players who understand and know what the culture of your program is all about. Now, I know Tyson Walker a year ago came out of the portal and was an important part, but for the most part, you haven't really dove into there because you really haven't had to. So why is the way that you're doing it right now still working for your program as well as it is?
I think one of the things you got to do is you got to make sure the guys know you care about them that are here so they don't leave. But you got to go into the portal now just because of the nature of the beast and the way it is. And I'm not afraid to do that. It's not like I'm against paying players. Everybody tries to make all these statements, but the truth of it is, I do think that you've got to have a culture. You got to have some discipline. You got to have some accountability. That hasn't changed in 125 years of basketball here, 125 years of sports at any of these colleges or any successful organizations, including business. So we get away from it once in a while, but thank God it comes back. And I'm just happy that I got a bunch of guys that I haven't had to spend a lot of time disciplining. I haven't had to spend a lot of time making them accountable. I think the players before them here have helped me so much to know what it's like. The Mateen Cleaves and Smiths and all those guys, the Draymonds, they call the players. They tell the players. It's a privilege and it's a responsibility, and I love that.
All right, Tom, let's finish here as you get ready to take this team to Indianapolis, try to back up the regular season title with a conference tournament title. What's been the best part of this year for you, and what have you enjoyed the most about coaching this particular group?
Selfless. They've been selfless. They've sacrificed. They've given up, maybe a few more minutes or a few more points for the betterment of the team. There is a reason. I think Jace got injured. He got a concussion a little bit in the Memphis game, third game of the year. And I think we had one guy sick. We've never had any injuries. I think part of that is because we're fresh all the time. We have some freshness to us. And so it's been fun to watch a bunch of guys grow together and sacrifice a little for each other. And that doesn't happen all the time this day and age. So I consider myself very fortunate and lucky.
Tom Izzo, your 2025 Big Ten Coach of the Year, the fourth time he's won this award in his Hall of Fame career. Tom, always great to catch up. Congrats again. Look forward to chatting with you on Friday down in Indianapolis.
Well, it should be a hell of a tournament. The Big Ten is going to make some noise. I'm hoping that somebody in this league wins a national championship this year, but we have a lot of good teams that are capable of doing it. The tournament in Indy should be as good as maybe any I've been involved in my 25 years of this tournament or whatever it's been. So looking forward to it. I'll see you down there.
Yes, there's a lot of folks out there hoping that somebody in this league wins it because no one has since Izzo's 2000 team. And while MSU had no players on the All-Big Ten first or second team, you see two Spartans earn third-team honors. Jace Richardson and Jaden Akins joined on this list by Yaka Chonis, Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Biddle, Jackson Shellstad, Tyler Bilodeau, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper. Your take on this all-third team with a couple of guys, really important, obviously, selections for the Spartans. Told you at the top of the show that Braden Smith has been named Big Ten Player of the Year. Up next, we sit down with the Boiler point guard to talk about his ever-evolving game.